Part number 1 of the unit number 5 HVDC transmission explains the working principle of HVDC. HVDC stands for high voltage DC. So this chapter explains the fundamental concepts of high voltage DC transmission system. This part covers the outline of the unit, historical background of HVDC transmission, what are the reasons of rapid growth in HVDC technology, and at last, the working principle of high voltage DC transmission system. So let us first of all go through the outline of this unit. As I said earlier, the first topic would be the background of HVDC system. After that, we will look into the historical development in this technology, and after that, how does this technology work, that we will try to understand. Then we will also go through the number of the reasons which are responsible for making this HVDC transmission system more preferable compared to the HVAC transmission system. Thereafter, we will understand the different schemes of HVDC. The first would be the monopolar link, second is bipolar link, and afterwards homopolar link. So these are the three main schemes of HVDC transmission system. With the help of bipolar link, we will further explore the HVDC transmission system and the equipments required to construct HVDC system. The role of each and every equipment would be discussed in this topic. Afterwards, 12 pulse converter for HVDC system. In multi-pulse converter unit, we understood that the application of multi-pulse converter is in HVDC field. So we shall once again recall the 12 pulse converter for the HVDC system. After that, the comparison between high voltage DC transmission with the extra high voltage AC transmission system. So this comparison will be made based on number of the factors, and we will understand that what are the factors based on we can prefer HVDC over extra high voltage AC transmission system. And at last, the limitations of HVDC technology. So these are the key points of the unit number 5, HVDC transmission. Moving ahead, HVDC background. We know that India is the developing country and power sector in India is growing very rapidly. Present installed capacity is 1,60,000 megawatt, and the present peak demand is 1 lakh megawatt. By 2020, the installed generation capacity would be 4,50,000 megawatt, and the anticipated peak demand will be 3,50,000 megawatt. These statistics are taken from standard book of HVDC written by an international author from the year 2017 edition. So these numbers are slightly different than the numbers as of today. Present per capita electricity consumption is 500 units, and by 2020 the consumption will be 1000 units. HVDC was first developed in 1950s when three-phase AC power transmission over long distance and through cables became difficult. At that time, HVDC was more preferred compared to HVAC transmission concept. HVDC seemed to be a viable solution because to transmit the power over longer distance and for bulk amount of power, the HVDC became a cost-effective solution. The reasons: HVDC requires less space and suitable for long distance bulk power transmission, as I said earlier. The first few projects commercially launched in this field were: the first one was between Moscow and Kashira, that is in Russia. The length of the transmission line was 100 km and the transmission power capacity of that system was 30 megawatt. The second project was between the Sweden and the Gotland island, the island which is nearby the Sweden. The length of the transmission line was 98 km and the transmission capacity of that system was 20 megawatt. So these are the two initially launched commercially projects in the field of HVDC. Subsequent developments in the high power electronic static devices made the power conversion uncomplicated and very cost effective. Too much research was carried out in the field of semiconducting devices and we could make high power electronics devices, and because of that the power conversion, that is converting AC parameters into DC or DC into AC, that conversion became simple and very cost effective. And because of these two reasons, many projects have come up all over the world for transmitting the power over longer distance, which is greater than 500 km, and to interconnect two different frequency AC system, which implies that HVDC technology could be used to interconnect two different nations operating with the different frequencies for transmitting power from one location to another location. Let us quickly have a glance at the historical development of HVDC. Originally, the power generation and the transmission was carried out through the direct current. In 1882, the first electric central station was built by Thomas Alva Edison in the New York State, which was capable of supplying DC at 110 volt. It had Edison bipolar DC generators driven by the steam engines, but we know that for high voltage the size of the commutator increase, which restricts the peripheral speed of the machine, and because of that we cannot produce higher power through the DC generators. And due to the limitations of size and cost of DC machines on one hand and arrival of transformers, polyphase circuits and induction motors on the other hand, AC power systems became much more popular. Here the graph shows one of the comparison between AC and DC transmission line with reference to the reactive power requirements. So in the DC line that demand is constant, but in the case of AC system, when the length of the line is more than 500 km, the reactive power generated is more than its power transmitting capacity. So we can say that for transmission over a few hundreds of kilometers, the transmission capacity of AC system is less than the DC transmission system capacity. Now let us understand the reasons behind rapid growth in HVDC. Innovations in developments of DC conversion technology, replacement of mercury valves with the thyristor valves. Thyristor valves have replaced mercury valves in the rectification process, and these are the key features of thyristor valves. The first one is low maintenance requirement, second is power loss is very less, and the third one is free from arc bags. Mercury valves were not that much safe as thyristor valves are, because during the rectification process the mercury valves were producing arc bags, but in the case of thyristor valves there is no such case. Progressive increase in the voltage and the current ratings of thyristors, and this is one of the key reasons. Because of that we can say that HVDC technology is growing very rapidly. 12 pulse mode of operation has brought economy in the filter requirements. In the multipulse converter unit, we understood that compared to 6 pulse converter. In the 12 pulse converter, harmonic generation in the source current is very less, and because of that there is no need to design the filter for those harmonics. Hence we can consider it as economic benefit. Cooling arrangements for SCRs to enhance the power handling capability. More research was carried out in the cooling arrangements so the power handling capacity of the SCRs could be enhanced. We know that SCR is one of the controlled semiconductor device. So to operate it, we are supposed to provide pulse at the gate terminal of thyristor. And to control all the SCRs of HVDC, microprocessor based control unit is used. Now let us understand the working principle of HVDC. This is the line diagram of high voltage DC transmission system. This portion is sending end and this portion is the receiving end. So at the sending end side, generators are present. The generators are connected to the AC bus 1. The task of the AC bus 1 is to collect the power from the generators and it provides that power to the converter transformer 1. The task of the converter transformer 1 is to step up the voltage for the rectification process and it provides the power to the rectifier. The task of the rectifier is to convert the AC parameters which are coming from the converter transformer 1 into DC parameters. So after converting AC into DC, the power is being transferred on the DC link which is shown over here. The power is transferred over a longer distance by this DC link from the sending end rectifier station to the receiving end inverter station. At inverter station, the power which is provided by the DC link is converted into AC and that AC power is fed to the converter transformer 2. The task of this converter transformer 2 is to step down the AC voltages and finally the power is delivered to the load centers via distribution network present over here. The R shown over here is the internal resistance of the conductor, the transmission line which is present between rectifier and the inverter unit and which is few hundreds of kilometer long. So in short, if we want to transfer the power from AC bus 1 to AC bus 2, the process is first of all we have to change the level of the voltage. Thereafter we have to convert AC parameters into DC parameters. Then power is fed to the link. The link transfers the power to the receiving end. At the receiving end, the DC parameters are converted into AC. Thereafter, the converter transformer step down the AC voltage and through the distribution network, the power is fed to the load centers. So this is the working principle of HVDC.